actually going to start with the soft ball. So mine is called a Pilates balance. It's a togu ball, a little bit bigger than 9 inches. If you don't have a 9-inch soft ball, you could also use a pillow just something to kind of give you some good feedback, especially when we come down into the mat. So starting standing, let's go ahead and we're going to move a little bit of a stretch. The ball more or less is kind of just a prop to move around in space for now, but we're going to use it more when we come down onto the mat. So to start, we're going to swing a little bit. I want you to think that your arms are free. So just kind of start to swing them back and forth. Again, the ball, if you have a pillow, just a little bit more of a prop. At this point, too, if you don't have a ball, you could just move without. That's fine. We're going to start to make a circle. Just kind of loosen the shoulders, the waist. And let's go ahead and reverse. Big circle, relaxing those shoulders back and down. Ooh, just kind of getting some general movement. Let's add some legs. We're going to swing right and left, and right and left. So just that little back and forth. I'm pushing off of my back leg just a little bit, kind of swinging up, swinging up. Let's start to make a big full circle, up and around, and up and around, up. So I'm adding some more leg work, up and around. We're going to reverse, swing it up and around, up and around. Big circles. So you can make it as big or as little as you would like. Back through center, we're going to go side to side. We're going to tap, and then we're going to tap. Right? So your lunges may look a little different from mine. What I want you to work on just a little bit, though, is heating up your legs. Starting to feel the glutes, right? The sides of your hips. We're going to start to make it a little bit bigger. We're going to go down and up and down and up, right? So we're lowering and then lifting. 4 and up and 3 and up, reaching it up. 2 and up, last one, down and up. We're going to reverse, so we're going to go down and up, down and up, working lateral movements. 4 and reach, 3 and reach, almost there. 2 and reach, last one and reach, and then come back through center, shake it out. All right, so we're going to move next through a little bit of mat, coming down onto the mat. So I'm going to bring the ball between my knees. So let's go ahead and come to one side of our mat. We're going to work on our roll down, basically, so walking it out. We've got opportunity to come to kneeling if you need it. The ball is there to help deepen that connection into the abdominals. So let's start by just stretching the arms up. Nice big stretch. Now exhale, press all that air out. And then big stretch. And exhale, press all that air out. Let's do that once more. Inhale to stretch. Now I'm going to hook my thumbs at the top. I'm going to lift the layers of abdominals. And I'm going to start to pour myself forward over the invisible beach ball in front of me. Now maybe your hands can't touch the mat. That's okay. I'm just going to bend and extend. I want you to reach down. Start to really feel the hamstrings opening. Maybe a little bit of a relax through that head, neck, and chest. I'm bending and extending my knees. And I'm giving that ball just a little bit of a squeeze as I do so. Last one. Starting, still to warm up. Now gently start to press the legs straight. Lift the layers of abdominals. Roll yourself back up to standing. And yet again, lift the arms. Big inhale, hook the thumbs the other direction. And lift up and over. Up and over. Up and over, big stretch, reaching towards the mat. Again, bend and extend and bend and extend. So with the ball between your thighs, I want you to visualize from the heels all the way to your navel. How is that connected? Let's start to add a twist. I'm going to stretch my legs straight. Left hand is going to stay down onto the mat, and I'm going to reach my right arm up and then close it back off, bend. Right hand stays down, left arm reaches up. Woo! And bend. Now, as you reach, can you bend the opposite knee and kind of stretch the outside of your hips just a little bit? Stretching. Let's do once more each way. Lengthening up and down. Last one. Up, woo, and down, and then slowly strike yourself the way back up, releasing those shoulders back and down. We're going to go ahead and circle one last time. Up, hook your thumbs, lift the layers of abdominals, pouring yourself forward yet again, and gently start to bend the knees, walking yourself out. In this tabletop position, the ball is between my thighs, just to, again, help me lift up through the layers of abdominals. Let's move through some sternum drops, loosening our shoulders, getting ready for our arm series to follow. I'm just going to go back and forth a little bit, kind of flexing and extending. Maybe you circle, kind of loosen the spine, yep. Just kind of see what feels good. Kind of loosening the shoulders. And then I want you to stand into those arms. Stand from the back of your shoulders. Lift the layers of abdominals and flex the feet down into the mat. So spread all 10 toes. We're going to work into the abs, shifting your weight back just a little bit. Start to find a posterior tilt, ever so slightly. Notice that I'm not pushing my shoulders up. I'm going to try to keep my shoulders through neutral and lift my stomach kind of away from my quads. Sink the heels away from you. Start to lift your knees and tap and lift and tap and lift. So, can we add a little squeeze to the ball? Standing into the arms. Let's do 4 and tap. 3 and tap. 2 and tap. Last one and tap. Woo, take a breather if you need to. We're going to walk those arms forward just a little bit and start to wave back and forth between a little bit of a plank-like position and then a little tuck and a little child's pose. A little plank. So I'm going to let my ankles float up for just a moment, and then I'm going to let them slide back down onto the mat as I shift back and forth. Now, as I come forward, I'm thinking of the alignment through my shoulders. I'm really focused on wrapping them back and down, lifting through the line of my chest. Let's do once more. Wrapping those shoulders back and down, finding a moment in that plank-like position, and then shifting it back. Woo, find a stretch. We're going to go ahead and wave our heart forward back into that plank position. Stay here, and we're going to move into a little bit of tricep work. So my elbows are going to hug towards my body as I start to bend and extend. And bend and extend. Woo. Lift the layers of abdominals, lengthen through the top of your head, grow long through your spine from your sits bones to your head. 4. Almost there. 3. I'm only going as far as I feel this through the back of my arms, not my neck or my shoulders. And then shift the weight back. Let's go ahead and add, kind of combining the two together. So my arms are going to still be slightly forward, and I'm going to go back to flexing my feet into the mat. Shifting that weight back. Tuck the wheel of your pelvis just a little bit. Standing into your feet, start to lift the abs. Lift the knees by engaging the abs. We're going to shift from a back position forward to a full plank position. Shift back and then forward. Then back and forward. 4. Give me 3. Last 2, give the ball a squeeze. Use that long straight line. Last 1, press it out. Carefully bend the knees and shift your weight back. Take a moment and stretch. Whew. Slowly, let's start to shift our weight off of our knees. I'm seated on my ankles if that's not for you. Just come off of your tabletop position. We're going to flip now and bring the ball in front of us for some rolling back and down. So the ball is between my knees still. So start with a seated upright position. Your hands can come behind your thighs if that's easier for you. So if that helps kind of pull your heart up a little bit, please take that. Think about sit bones are anchoring down, lifting through the heart, nice and tall. Let's start by rocking the wheel of our pelvis. We're back to that posterior tilt. Tuck and roll, and then pick yourself back up. And tuck and roll. and pick yourself back up. And tuck and roll. So I'm giving the ball just a little bit of a squeeze. I'm trying to spread my sacrum soft on the mat. Let's do twice more. And lift. And last one. And lift. Let's go ahead and roll back to a position that you can hold. I'm going to keep my hands here. Squeeze in on the ball and start to kick one leg straight and then bend it back down. So just a little bit of back and forth. What I really want you to focus on is how you're squeezing in on the ball, zipping up like a really long parka, right? Really long raincoat, all the way from your toes to your nose. Twice more each way. Scooping. Last one right. And last one left. Both feet come back down. Curl it all the way up. Lift. Woo! Reaching the arms forward if you'd like. Little added challenge. Squeeze and tuck. And pick it back up. And squeeze and tuck. And pick it back up. Back and forth. Are you rolling equally over your right and your left sits bone? Right? Or do you feel maybe a little lopsided? Try to even it out. Last two. Almost there. Last one, we're going to hold. Find your scoop. Kick one leg forward and touch. Back and forth. Lift the layers of abdominals. Give the ball a little squeeze. Soften your shoulders. Are you doing this with your neck? Or can you dig deeper, like you're pulling the navel closer to the spine behind you? Last two on each side. Last one right. Last one left. Both down. Curl it all the way back up. Woo! Nice job. So now from here, let's go ahead and pour ourselves all the way down. Soften the hands down along beside you and melt. I'm going to bring my feet a little bit closer to my bottom. The ball is still between my knees as we move into some bridge work. Hands reaching along beside you. Wrap those shoulders back and down. Pushing energy down into the floor. Start to curl and release, right? Pelvic tilt and release. So all I'm thinking of with the tilt is starting to engage the abs. Add just a little bit of a push to the feet. You get those hamstrings to turn on. Now let's start to make it bigger. Find your curl and then place it back down. Notice that your curl, you're not articulating your hips all the way up. You're focused on translating your ribs back and bringing your sacrum up off the mat. And last two. Almost there. Let's stay in that pelvic curl and hold, right? So I'm not in a full bridge yet. My ribs are pulling back. My pelvis is floating up. I'm going to squeeze in on the ball and I'm going to pulse it in. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Soften it back down. Let it breathe. And again, exhale, tilt, then curl, and stay there. So you're not all the way up in your bridge. Translating the ribs back. Squeeze in on the ball. Let's go back to our marches. Reach one leg straight and place it back down. Back and forth. And back and forth. So hug towards that midline. Where's that really long raincoat? From your toes to your nose. Woo, squeezing in on the ball. Back and forth. Standing, send energy down through that supporting leg. Almost there, last one right. And last one left. Reconnect with your center and lay it all the way down. Let it breathe. Let's start to make it a little bit bigger, if that's appropriate for you. If you don't want to take that full articulation, you don't have to. Stay in that pelvic curl. So now we're going to squeeze in on the ball, tilt, curl, and articulate all the way up. Real quick, a couple cues. In our bridge, we do not overextend the ribs and the hips, right? So think plank. Think engage like a staple gun has like connected those ASIS points in your ribs. Maintain that connection. Reaching through the arms, we go back to our pulse. Squeeze in on the ball. Hold it. Now pulse it in. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Articulate all the way back down, finding that release. Then again, squeeze in on the ball, tilt, curl, articulate up, hold. We go back to our marches, reaching and bend, and reaching and bend. Squeeze in on that ball. Good, like a really long raincoat. Woo. Good, standing into that supporting leg. How still is your bridge? Good, I feel my ball moving a little bit. It's like pulling down my pants. Almost there. Last two each, it's almost on its way out. I'm squeezing it so much. Last one, right, and last one left. Reconnect with your center, and then slowly lay yourself all the way down. Wooja. Oh my goodness. You can take the ball out. You can let your knees fall open like a surrender pose. Maybe breathe for a moment. Right. So, next variation. Stretch your legs long and strong. That was it. That was our breathing moment. Reaching through the arms. Let's go ahead and roll ourselves all the way up to seated. I'm going to walk myself just a little bit more to the middle of my mat. And this time I'm going to bring the ball behind my back. Now, if you have a pillow, same idea. It's going to be a prop to help keep your upper back, your body lifted a little bit. For me, I'm going to bring it about the bra line of my back and start to lay down onto that ball or your pillow, right? The pillow and the ball, they both create a sense, a little bit of instability, right? That then we have to sort of hug towards and connect. So the hands are going to come behind our head, whether you're on the ball or the pillow. You're going to take that nice big stretch up and over. And enjoy the openness through the front of your body. Feet are sit bone distance apart. Try to find like a balance on the ball, if you would, right? So make sure that you're not lopsided, one side more or less on the ball, right? So enjoying your stretch, take that nice inhale here. Now we're going to exhale, knit the ribs, pivot on your prop, and lift your heart up. I'm thinking of drawing, again, those ribs down, translating them back. This time they're into the ball, and my pelvis is anchored. And last, again, up and over, and exhale, lift. So as I come up, I'm also scanning across the top of my knees, and I want to be sure that one of them isn't higher than the other. But my sacrum is level on the mat. Last one, let's go ahead and stay up. And we're going to stay here, and we're just going to breathe. I know it seems like a really easy exercise, but if we can really train our breathing pattern to find areas that we don't normally breathe into, so try not to belly breathe here. Visualize that prop behind you, and you're going to send your breath back into the ball or that pillow behind you. Your head is stacked over your shoulders. You're sending breath back into the low back and your ribs, and then your exhale sinking the front of your body deeper towards the ground underneath you. Breathing. I'm shaking, right? You're just holding it. Notice you're not holding it with your neck and your shoulders, right? This is how do you translate the ribs back to the ball underneath you. Let's do once more. Inhale and exhale. Now go ahead and soften. Woo, everything up and back. Let that stretch happen. Enjoy it. So that first breathing exercise is really important because on this next one, we're going to stay up and we're going to ask our body to continue to breathe as we stay lifted. So on your next exhale, we're going to pivot on the ball. Lift, head, neck, chest, curl, and hold here. I want everybody to inhale as they pivot to the right, opening their right shoulder, right ribs, right obliques. Now exhale, slide through center, curl to the left. Inhale to the right. And exhale, pull to the left. Inhale to the right. And exhale, pull to the left. Now, if you're on the pillow, it might feel a little different. But the goal here is to feel the lateral shift of your ribs into the ball underneath you. Inhaling and exhaling, twist it. Let's do 3 more. Inhaling and exhaling. Last 2, inhaling, you're still lifted. You're just spiraling. And last 1, don't worry about your shoulders. Don't worry about where your elbow gets to. Try to twist from your ribs and your waist. And stretch, let it breathe. All the way back and down. I'm going to lay my head onto the floor. My arms are reaching up and back. Really big stretch through my ribs and my spine. And then carefully bring yourself all the way back up. All right. So that's class. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay safe out there.